this still on? This is a camera. And today I'm going to explain the basic concepts of a camera. Why do we use a camera? We use a camera to take beautiful pictures. You want to take selfies, you want to take all kinds of pictures. Do we agree on all that? Okay. What exactly is a camera? That is, I think, one of the most important questions that we should start with and agree to. Okay. A camera is essentially a box that takes in a picture through a lens, takes the outside in, focuses on the back where you have a sensor, a film, and that's where the picture sits. So you need a light source and you need something to register the picture on. In simple terms, that is what a camera is. To understand the camera further, I came up with a cardboard box and I took a simple magnifier. I put it up front and focused the image on the back, which was tracing paper, some kind of paper that is semi-transparent. That gives you an idea of what a camera actually does, okay? So let me show you a high-tech version of my camera. This is the highest I can go. This is my high-tech version. What this is essentially a magnifier in here. This is the lens. This is the body, of course. And this is made of tracing paper. This helps get the image on here, okay? Now, if you think about it, if there's not enough light coming in through here, then not a lot will form over here, okay? So if you look at this box, what I've done is, like I said, I've got this magnifier in here. This thing is the shutter, okay? This helps regulate light going in, so it's like on and off. So you can also regulate the diameter of the lens to let the light come in. Over here, what we have is a small pinhole, and over here we have a bigger pinhole, okay? So what exactly are these? These are what is called the apertures, okay? The hole that lets the light come in. So light can be controlled by three methods. One is the shutter, one is the aperture, and what's the third one? Third one is the sensitivity of this screen or the sensor or the film. Anything that regulates the sensitivity over here can help the picture look brighter or the exposure look more or darker or lesser exposure. If it's a noon, it's a sunny day, you're going to use less sensitivity on here. And if it's going to be darker and it's the nighttime, you're going to use more sensitivity. The sensitivity of a camera is called the ISO. A lower number means less sensitivity and a higher number means more sensitivity. The problem being that if you increase the number too much, if it's dark outside and you bump up the ISO really high, the sensitivity goes up really high. It allows for all kind of light components to be magnified on the sensor or the screen over here, giving you a grainy look, okay? And so you don't always want to do that. So what you want to do is use a combination of ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. So let's talk a little about the role of the shutter in a camera, okay? Now, if you want to take a picture, okay, let's just say we want to take a picture. We have something over here like a film that's going to register the picture or a sensor or whatever. Let's just imagine it, okay? And we have a camera that looks like this. It's noon outside, and then we go ahead, open the shutter on the subject and close it. This took about 1 or 2 seconds. So the shutter speed was 1 to 2 seconds, okay? It's a pretty high number. We'll get into that a little later. But for noon, you need the shutter not to be like this. You need to do this. Okay? The shutter needs to be a fraction of a second so as to register a meaningful image at the back, not a whitewash, okay? That would be too much exposure. For a given aperture, okay, let's just say an aperture is constant. For a given aperture, suppose we have an aperture that is so little, we need to flip this so fast that the exposure at the back is balanced, the whites are not blown out, and everything has got information in it, if you understand what that says. That means everything has some sort of color information or picture information in it. Once we discover that a particular shutter works for us, that's great, okay? But let's say we wanted to control light coming into the camera using the opening right here. Once again, it's noon time, okay? we have 3 aperture options. So this was 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Wow, that's a big aperture. Look at that. That's a pretty big aperture, right? Now what's going to happen is, no matter how fast your shutter speed, and we can get into how fast you need it, but it's going to be a really hard time to get a meaningful image at the back if your aperture is this big and it's letting so much light come in, okay? So what we'll do is we'll try with a smaller aperture. We'll put this in, and now we'll get a better image. It may not be perfect, but we'll get a better image. And if this doesn't work and it's more overexposed, it's noon time once again, there's a lot of light, there's sunlight, a lot of light's getting in, then we're going to use the third one, which is the smallest aperture. So in summary, a camera lets light come in and registers it at the back, at the sensor on a film. The light has got 3 major methods of being controlled. One is increasing the shutter speed right here. Make it really fast so not too much light enters, or in the evenings make it slow so that more light enters. Then we have the aperture diameter or aperture size. So hey, go ahead, make a bigger opening right here. Make a bigger opening using an aperture. Let more light come in. And the third method is to increase the sensitivity of the film or the sensor that's taking the image on it. This is controlled by the ISO. So we've covered 3 topics. One is the ISO, one is the shutter speed, and one is the aperture. I hope this helps. So far so good. In the next video, I'm going to talk more about how to use the combination of these 3 things to take a meaningful image. Once again, this is our high-tech camera, and this is going to help us understand the simple concepts of photography and the philosophy. Thank you, my friends. Stay tuned and punch that like button. Boom.